What have I learned from two failed suicide attempts? Grim, I know. But I promise it's not so grim in retrospect, right? So it's 2023. I'm 33 or 34 years old. I don't know, guess. Two failed suicide attempts later, and I have to ask myself, what have I learned? And no, it's not that I'm a failure. Although that was the first instinct, right? After the first one. Am I right? So this is part of a bigger project, reflecting on what was there to learn, if anything, really. But yeah, I'm just gonna post this in bits and pieces while I'm working on the bigger project, which might end up being in the form of a short film. I hope that's the plan. So with this video, I'm going to start with two journal entries that I wrote soon after my first failed attempt. Um, yeah, I just, like was going through the journal very recently, and it was quite striking the wisdom that was in it. I mean, I went through it, so I know, but it was just like, um, I don't know, I guess it just feels like I was wiser than I gave myself credit for at the time. And the second entry um is quite magical, sort of. I mean, it sounds grim as fuck, I'll be honest. But you'll see in retrospect, it I feel like it was a catalyst. It was a very important point in my recovery and in the start of a new journey. So this is the second journal entry. It's been, I don't know, weeks or a month since my last suicide attempt. And I just realized that whenever people talk to me about it, it isn't really to know what's going on in my head and how I really am feeling, except for a couple of cases. They really just end up wanting to talk about them, about themselves, how they feel about it, wanting to talk about how it affected them, how I should talk to them without realizing that it isn't even about them, that they are not really giving me a chance to say what I feel, that they are not listening. Or maybe I'm not listening. I don't know. Everyone just sounds the same. Anyway, I'm thinking now about how I feel. For the first time in a while since being on medication, I am crying. I am feeling not intense joy, but sadness. I'm feeling inadequate, empty, pointless. I was looking at residency opportunities online, and after perusing through several or more, I felt so defeated, unfit, pathetic, silly.
On one of the application forms, I was asked to state at least two artistic achievements. I couldn't even think of one, none at all. I don't know why I thought I was good enough to qualify for any of these opportunities. I feel like I overestimate my abilities. I'm nothing, I mean, sure, I make art, sure, I'm an artist, but what good am I as an artist? I can't even complete a CV because it is just painful to realize I haven't got much to put to my name, got no degree, diploma, or even as little as a decent exhibition under my name. I've never really had any job experience. I'm nothing really. What am I going to do now? Most probably failed art theory and will have to repeat a third year in order to get the qualification. That's another year wasted. I want to break into the professional world of art this year, but I don't see that happening because I can't even bring myself to finish my CV without feeling stupid and useless. I thought by now, since I've been on medication, um, consistently, the anxiety would be gone, but it isn't. I'm even anxious about making art. Seriously, what the fuck? What am I if I'm not even creating? I want to break into the professional art industry this year, but I don't see that happening because I can't even bring myself to finishing my CV without feeling stupid and useless. I thought by now, since I've been on medication consistently, the anxiety would be gone, but it isn't. I'm even anxious about making art. Seriously, what the fuck? What am I if I'm not even creating? I realize that I'm having a really, okay, I realize that I'm having really bad thoughts now, unhealthy thoughts, the kind that I dwell on when I'm depressed. I shouldn't entertain this. This is not real. These are not true. I am lying to myself right now, and I should stop before I get stuck in this dark well. Wow. So yeah, I mean, very, very grim from the, like, all of it really, until the last paragraph, the last bit, where I probably just breathed out and came to my senses and like resolved the whole thing in just that one, those few last sentences. I transmuted all of that. And now that I think of it, this is probably one of the very last times I was invested in journaling, I think, because this book was supposed to be full of writings. Um, and this is like the second one, and there's pretty much nothing long. And, to be honest, writing has always came effortlessly when I wasn't in a good space for a very long time. And I feel like I'm still trying to figure out if this is exactly, true. But like I've just felt like, I don't know, disconnected to the medium um, for a long time, and I'm starting to think this is probably part of the reason. I mean, not that. Okay, so here's the thing. For a while, I've been thinking. I just tossed it as, you know what, journaling. I can only do that when I'm in a painful place when and it doesn't come as easy when I am not in a painful place. And yeah, I mean, if you, oh my God, my journaling is like that. But like, there's something about this last, what I think is like probably one of the last journal entries that I did. What I did there at the end doesn't often happen. And I'm glad I'm picking up the medication thing today after making the video about me, questioning whether the medication was what healed me at some point, when I went through the whole God mode, God self healing, when I healed myself. But like, I guess this is the confirmation again that there was, like even at this point, I was aware that, I wasn't feeling healed, and I was still on medication. Sure, it takes a while, but like, I feel like there's something way more powerful in just the way I transmute it, just the way I flipped it around, and like reminded myself that this is that all of that is not who I am, and it's not who I will continue being. And like I really treated myself really well here, and like I'm so proud of, like, every time I read it, even now just reading it, I'm picking up new stuff all the time. And like, so here's the thing, what happened the same year probably. Oh, by the way, I did pass and I got my diploma for, so like, I really was lying to myself. I passed. Yes, I was anxious about it. I was freaking out over literal nothing, babes. But anyway, and also probably the same year or within a year, all these opportunities that I say I was applying for, I got an award, right? I got an award. And I mean, I had, like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. But I, yeah, I won an award. And the funny thing about that is that, you know, you've heard how much I was like literally freaking out about and like feeling useless over, but like, if I were useless, how did I win an award? And like, so this brings me to the present and the mirroring and like the cycle happening again. So right now, I literally, I just applied for an award. And like, I mean, I even, that like something kept on coming up in my tarot readings about competition. But to me, the idea of competition is like so gross, you know, so gross. So I really just viewed it from like that space, and like, and then at some point, I started paying attention to the maybe like the opportunities that will just show up to me without me looking for, and probably happened with this one. And and something eventually clicked in my head that maybe maybe this is where I was being led. And then I remember because like I really try to think and like resolve anything that sticks out, especially something that keeps on returning and returning. And so again, yeah. So so yes, there's one that, and like as I was filling in that application form, um like I knew it was mine already, or like something triggered a memory of this one, and like I don't know, but and I feel like this is one of those moments again, and I won't lie to you, like when I was contemplating the second, no, either when I was contemplating, no, this previous suicide, or when I survived, I know at some point something told me that, okay, so I'm going to try this again, and if I fail, there's probably going to be like a reset or an upgrade to like something good will come out. I don't know when I even started thinking about that. And like, because it just seemed very bizarre how like very soon after my first attempt, like I, as soon as I transmuted these bad thoughts, things started moving along, and like, especially when like, you know, yeah, just things started moving along, and coming to me, and like, I mean, even my mom, so my mom went with me to the announcement, the award announcement. I honestly I didn't think I would win it, but I wasn't like overthinking it. I really wasn't. And my mom also, after winning, she also admitted that she didn't think I would win. And not because I'm not good, but just looking at like the art by the other artists, and how it's very palatable. Like it's I guess, I don't know, but like, yeah, and I'm really glad that she was there for that. And yeah, that is really special. So whew, okay, I'm gonna stop here right now because like I'm getting very emotional about it. But it's a beautiful emotion. It's just an overwhelming of like resolve and like understanding, and that's always a good transformative moment. Yeah, so I'm grateful. What a master plan. What a meticulous master plan that is now unfolding in new ways to me, and I am constantly surprised, pleasantly surprised. And I'd love for us to keep this momentum up, keep it up, and like be easy on ourselves. Remember that was the moment the wheel turned, when I was finally able to be easy on myself, and not just easy, but be compassionate. And like, for some reason, me realizing that I'm lying to myself, like now, in like in retrospect, like for a while, I don't even remember this happening, especially so quickly, like, because like at this time, I think I was even like, putting a lot of work into like routines, like exercises, yogas, like spiritual practices, or like, and being on medication, and realizing, and like, I guess it was really frustrating that I wasn't seeing a change, and like, probably right after this last writing, completely let go and like things started falling into place. I'll find more clues and add to this whole archive. Whew. I love how the story is unfolding. Every time I think I understand or I think I don't understand, you show up. Thank you. Love you. Good day. Good present. Good now. Let's remain in this eternal moment of now. Universal Light Grid Programmer, Infinite Intelligence. Now putting this into the Universal Knowledge Database and receiving and sealing this chapter.
So, first of all, I feel like I need to give this context because, like, and why I feel so compelled to do this and why it has so much gravity to me. The thing is, so in both situations, in both events, I took the same poison, which is Aldicap. Shit, I don't know if I should mention that. I'll probably beep it out if I have a problem with that. But anyway, no, Aldicap, just look it up just for your own confirmation, because this is the part that even today, as much as I think I've figured out why things happen as they did, it still blows my mind that I survived. So the first attempt, I had a big enough dose from my research to, I don't know, to kill myself, right? And in addition to that, I ate some poisonous leaves from a particularly poisonous plant tree, and I took a whole bunch of sleeping pills. And those sleeping pills, I still didn't sleep. I was still awake and not really feeling any side effects for hours, um, until like shortly before I was taken to the hospital. And if you just look up, like the details about the poison, I should have died like way sooner. But anyway, fine, so I survived. I ended up in ICU. And honestly, that was not my first attempt, but it was the first attempt that ended in a serious, like a critical situation in the hospital. Fine. And then the second one, which was recent, like 2nd of January this year. And that one blew my mind even more because I took twice the dose of the same poison and I didn't even end up in ICU. Even the doctor that was consulting with me afterwards didn't, she couldn't believe that I survived. And like for me, by that time, I was like, okay, I'm probably immortal. Hey, the fuck? No, I'm not. Oh God, I hope I'm not. But this takes me back to the first lesson after the first attempt, which, it just dawned on me that perhaps just as I do not remember choosing when to be born, I probably can't choose when to die, at least not consciously, you know? I mean, it is said that we choose when to be born and when to die, like we plan it all out. I still have no access to any of those memories, so I can't say for sure. But obviously, it wasn't my time. And after the first one, and me coming to that realization, I was like, okay, so now I guess suicide is of the list of possible ways, I guess. I don't know. And to be honest, eventually life got so much better. I feel like, the period after that, I don't know. I truly, for the first time in like my entire life, felt happy, felt peace, felt love for myself like never before, like never even ever imagined. And I truly experienced my God self, my higher self. Even though at the time I didn't, really know how that happened. Like the healing process of all the psychological um, distress that I was in, because I had that suicide attempt was led up by over a decade of depression. Very, very, very hard, hard, hard. And so it made sense, right? But what didn't make sense when it was happening was how how it just seemed magic, like I just magically healed. But at the same time, I was like consistently, intentionally on my meds, and I truly believed that was the thing that kept me alive. I mean, it still could be, but probably not because I'm no longer on my meds now, and I'm no longer depressed. And also, the second, the previous suicide attempt came with me not being depressed at all. That didn't come from being depressed at all. That mainly came from just being over it, just feeling like I deserve better. I want to go home. I'm done with this realm. I don't deserve to be here. I'm too good for this place, and there's nothing here for me anymore. I'm done. And I guess my higher self feels I'm not done yet. And I'm still waiting for the answer. How am I not done? Talk to me, please, higher self. But yeah, so now I'm not so sure that the healing, the deep healing and love and like recovery that I had after the first one was purely because I was consistent with my meds. You know, I can't say I believe that anymore because I still went to suicide even when I wasn't depressed, when I was just fed up. But I recently found out why. And so, yes, so this whole project is going to be going through all of that. And perhaps this is why I'm still here to tell this story. I mean, I really hope this is why, so that, because that means once I'm done telling this story, I can fucking go back home. Because, yeah, Earth is not, I know, New Earth, nice, way better than old Earth, but like, really, it ain't it. I'm over it. But anyway, let me not be grim now. Let's get into the journal entries that I wrote. And these are, by the way, describing, first one is dreams, a very lucid, um, vivid dream that I had, which now I feel like was probably not a dream. I was just like in the astral plane, in another dimension. But yeah, I'll go into that. That's going to be the first one. Please tell me what your experiences have been. What have you learned from your suicide attempts? I say that like everyone has attempted suicide. But if you have, tell me what are the biggest lessons that you've learned? Let's talk about it. Also, can you please stop treating suicide like it's the worst thing ever? Because I mean, honestly, death is like heaven. Way 10 times better than this place. TBH.